What is going on, you beautiful people? Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we're gonna be taking a look at how you can edit car photos, and especially how you can make those details pop and kind of have the increased clarity for car pictures. So first off, I have a picture of an Audi A3 from the back, and I also have one from the front, and as well as a rim shot for a Porsche SUV. So we're gonna start off with the back shot for the Audi, and the first thing you'll notice is that we have some yellow ladder leg right here and some cables. So we're gonna try to remove all of the excess stuff and all the distractions. So first off, we're gonna crop. We're gonna take the yellow ladder out of the picture, and we're gonna try as much as we can to remove any other distractions. Now that we have the picture right here, as you can see, it's a little bit dark, and it's kind of not like, it looks okay, but it doesn't pop as much. So I have a preset right here. I'll include it in the description, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I made this preset. So let's take a look at the preset. This is how the ending result is gonna look. It's a little bit blue though for this car, so we're gonna probably be around maybe even 5300 for the white balance, but we're gonna do that right now. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is go back to the cropped version. Okay, now I think the white balance is fine. Actually, if we reduce to 5300, that's better, and the exposure seems a bit dark, so I'm gonna increase that by just a little bit to give us more room to work with. And of course, I almost always increase the contrast in car pictures up to about 30 or 25, this looks alright. And we're gonna reduce the highlights. Now I shot this in a very well lit, or I shouldn't say well lit, there was just too many lights in the room, and the car is a bit black, so we're gonna have to reduce the highlights and bump up the shadows. And we're gonna increase the shadows. This is about 38. This seems fine. For the whites, we're gonna increase those a bit, and for the blacks, we're gonna decrease them just a tad. Now here is where all the magic happens. I almost always increase my clarity in car pictures to about 35 or something. This just makes it pop. This is a bit too much for this car, but it just makes it pop a lot more, especially you can see this in the tail lights. And we're gonna dehaze the picture just a little bit to kind of give it more contrast. I typically like to reduce my saturation a bit and increase vibrance. This also makes it pop, and of course you can do the infamous S-curve in the tone curve panel if you like to, but for this example we're not really gonna do that. Now in details, the sharpening is set to 40. I kind of like increase it just a little bit to give it more sharpness, and if need be you can just add some noise reduction. This is a bit too much, of course. The car is gonna look soft, so we're gonna reduce that to about 34. And last but not least, of course, we're gonna add some vignetting. Although this is a very tight crop, I don't think vignetting is gonna look cool for this picture, but in this picture we're definitely gonna add some vignetting. Now before we do that, let's do the crop once more, because like I said, there's just too much going on around in this picture. Okay, now as I said, like you see here, there's just too many lights on the hood, and right here it seems a bit dark. So we're gonna do the exact same thing. I think the white balance needs to be, like, I always like to have a cooler tint for my car pictures. I just don't see, like, if any car looks a bit warm, it ruins the colors. So as always, we're gonna add a little bit of contrast, and we're gonna decrease the highlights by a lot and bump up the shadows, and we're gonna add some whites and kill the blacks just a little bit. As for the clarity, we're gonna bump that up a bit and add some dehaze. For this picture, I'm actually gonna increase the saturation a bit as well as the vibrance, and this is looking pretty well. Maybe can bump up the shadows a bit more. Now you can see the before and the after. The front grille looks well, you can actually see it now after the edit. And we can come down here to the vignetting and add just a little bit of it, just because this is a tight crop. Now this is pretty much the same exact edit as I did in the last picture, which is pretty much the same as my preset. The only difference is that this thing has a lot more vignetting in it. So there you go, guys. This is how I edit car pictures to pop that detail. As you can see, you see the entire reflection of the lights of the studio, and if there was anything here, you would see me taking the picture. And this is the front grille picture. I know these are very tight shots, but this is all I had to work with in the studio, and we're just focusing on details in the car pictures and not wide car pictures. This is also another mistake right here. As you can see, we have the ladder leg or whatever that is called, and we're going to try to remove it with the spot removal tool. And boom, there you go. You can see just a little bit of it, of the reflection right here. But if this was like, if you're just looking at this picture, you wouldn't even see how it was like right here before. Here's a side-by-side comparison, and this looks way better on the right. Alright, so that is it for me, guys. I'll leave a link to the preset in the description, and I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this tutorial. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.